things.
Well, the Instagram is not connecting, but okay. We are live. Welcome to The Art Will Not Be Changing, the Fugitive Poems Show. I am so excited to have you guys here for this maiden voyage of our show. Joining me tonight is James Lyons, co-founder of Fugitive Poems, and Mark Capitelli, eye candy, and also senior editor. I am Christian DeMatteo, co-founder of Fugitive Poems, and we're here not for a long time, but for a good time, as the kids probably aren't saying anymore. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Excellent. How are you?
Fat, sassy, and drunk.
Well, we got some good stuff. This is going to be a really fun show for us. Where we plan to do a number of them. And Dave Katz, what's up? I saw Tom Linen out there. We got an audience already. We got Steve Yamin out there. Hello, Steve.
Oh, Evan's here.
Evan.
Evan. What's up, Evan?
Welcome. We got. I'm so glad you guys are joining. This is going to be.
Joey's here for the eye candy,
where we talk about all things independent comics, all things particularly comic creation, from this basic brainstorming or amazing moments of inspiration to the writing, from the scribblings to the art, to the inking, to the drawing, to the inking, right? From lettering, from thinking up sound effects, which is one of my hardest things. Most of my scripts have, I don't know, splooch maybe with a question mark. The letterers have a lot of work to do.
What have you been writing lately?
Well, stripper clips. I mean, and all the way through coloring and what that's like. And we're going to talk about every aspect of comic making. We're going to meet some incredible creators. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to see Joe DeMatteo and Joe Titorgiani. We got a double Joe in the commentaries. Hello, guys. And I mean, I can't tell you how happy I am. You know, one of our greatest friends, whose podcast we're on pretty often, are Matt and Lauren at Hops Geek News. And I wanted to give them a shout out by stealing their bit, which I thought was fun. So, you know what? We're going to wait until we bring up our guest. This way everyone can do it. So, without further ado, what better way to start our maiden voyage than to have a maiden voyage into dirty living? We have with us two criminal masterminds behind Fugitive Poems' first first team signed to Fugitive Poems for their very own comic, Dirty Living. I would like to introduce Stephen Besha, writer Stephen Besha, and artist Ryan Santos. Guys, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Awesome. Glad to be here.
Really glad to have you.
Great. This is going to be awesome. Can't wait.
That was pretty good for a quick intro to get to the meat, right? You guys being the meat. I don't know if you're okay with that. So stealing the gag, stealing the trick from Matt and Lauren at Hops Geek News. I am drinking. I've never had it before, so who knows how I'm going to react on camera. I found this in a store the other day. I'm a big cigar smoker because I hate living. No. But this is a Maduro from Cigar City Brewing, and Maduro cigars are usually pretty dark. This is a brown ale, so I'm going to be cracking this open while we're talking. Isn't that a great sound? James, what are you drinking tonight?
Kona Big Wave, Liquid Aloha.
Love Kona. That's good stuff. Mark, how about you?
The Balvenie Caribbean Cask with a Cherry Coke Zero chaser.
Got to stay healthy. How about you? What's your beverage of choice for the evening?
Which one? Who?
Ryan.
Ryan,
me?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, I'm just drinking some water. Just imagine it's a nice frothy Guinness. That's my drink of choice.
Honestly, water is nothing to be knocked. How about you, Stephen?
Spackle. Oh no. Hold on.
I'll stick to your ribs.
That's
Whiskey.
Very
Spackle
good.
Fear. Spackle
I
Fear
got some Evan Williams 100 proof. It's my go-to.
Nice.
Well,
Drawing to do, so I can't get too drunk.
this
I have some
actually,
drawing to do, so I can't get too drunk.
Ryan, this kind of looks like a Guinness. So we'll just picture this in your
That
hand as
looks
well.
pretty good.
Let's see.
There you go.
Oh, that makes me want a cigar. That's good. All right. So, you know what? Because I am utterly prejudiced toward writers, being a writer myself, i.e., someone who can't draw, I'm going to start with Stephen. I hope Ryan will forgive me. But, Stephen, tell us a little bit about your creative advent. Who are you, and what was your creative journey that got you to this moment?
Honestly, I mean, I've always been a fan of comic books since I was little. Absolutely, I think it was my attention span. Like, I just loved the art. I know I could flip pages and I could read some, you didn't have to read a lot. It wasn't like a novel. So I gravitated towards comic books, and then as I got older, I of course started reading novels and Stephen King and all sorts of crazy horror stories and whatnot. And then as I kept getting into the comics, Frank Miller, Sin City, 300, stuff like that. His Dark Knight is phenomenal. These are things that I was inspired by. So I started writing short stories. I started writing novels, and then finally, I think that I just started writing dialogue one day, and I said, this is perfect for a comic, and so I started writing Dirty Living, and that's where it kind of took off. I think it was around 2016. And that's kind of got me into writing comics. And
how often does dialogue popping into your head lead you into a story?
Like all the time.
It's
just like, I would write a page of just full dialogue, and for some reason in the back of my mind, the scenes are already there. So after I got the dialogue, I can I can dissect it into panels, and then add the details of what's going on in that scene. So.
I wrote the story Thermoclines, which is in volume 3 of the Containment Breach series. Entirely, I was washing my hands in the bathroom, and a line came into my head, and the response came to it, and I just ran to the computer. Luckily, the hands were dry, and I started typing out this dialogue, and then I had to figure out what the hell the story was, but I knew the dialogue was right. That's awesome, and that all led you to Dirty Living, which I can tell everyone the dialogue is tremendous. So thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Yeah, I was so excited about the story, and you learn by doing certain things, and I went online. I was looking for an artist. I even tried to draw certain things. I'm like, no, I'm just not that good by any means. So I found this terrible artist before Ryan. I just was like, all right, I got to get this. I want to see it. So I hired this guy. He made this kind of pseudo first issue, and it was terrible. And I regret ever working with the guy. But anyway.
At what point are you going to reveal that it was me?
As luck would have it, I ran into Ryan, and the rest is history.
Good Lord, when you see what Ryan has done shortly, absolutely.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Before we move on, the great Luke Henderson would like to know what your favorite Stephen King book is.
My favorite Stephen King book. Oh my God, you'd have to ask me. Carrie or The Green Mile.
Oh, okay.
The Green Mile is one of the best works of fiction I've ever read. It just is so good. in my opinion. But
Great.
there's so many great novels. But the only problem I have with Stephen King is his endings.
Yeah, well, he that's his problem. Absolutely. Before we move on, Kenneth Beardsley, one of my favorite artists, wants to know if this is where the strippers are, and I guess he didn't see that Mark's label is eye candy. So there's where that's at. So you can look forward to that. That'll be the sequence of our show.
We'll be playing strip poker later.
Guys, we want people to stay.
Or in this case,
Don't threaten them.
We got like 18 guys and Martine. So.
And my aunt is watching, apparently. So.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Katie.
I'm sorry. James?
What?
No, I was just saying you.
You're up.
What about what? Oh, the artwork?
About the stripping.
No, there's a carefully scripted show, and it's filmed before a studio audience. Go ahead. Your turn for Ryan.
Hold on a second.
It's all right. It's all right.
Why don't we go on to someone else? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, you were going to ask. Did you
talk about the art a little bit?
Yeah. So
can I ask a question? What were your influences,
Absolutely.
Ryan?
I've been a comic reader since forever. So I got Wolverine issue #1, and it was like nonstop from there. So I've like consumed so much comic stuff, and it's just in my bones. A big influence was like Mad Magazine, surprisingly. Like all the different levels of art and humor and style, it just like really influenced me totally, So that's why if you can kind of see the humor in the way I draw. There's like, it's not hyper real. The violence is, I don't want to say fun, but it's just
You can say fun.
it's fun. It's kind of fun.
Oh no, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. But so that I love Steve Dillon, Sergio Jones, all these kind of all the way up to like Mobius, Todd McFarlane, classic stuff. I worked for Todd for a little while. I did, yeah. I worked at Todd Toys, so McFarlane Toys. So yeah, so I was a painter at Todd McFarlane Toys. So.
Right, wow. I gotta say, I see a little of the influence in your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I pull up? Okay.
Yeah, there it is. There's the cover.
There's the cover to Dirty Living, done by Ryan, and I mean, just the depth.
It's pretty much the actual cover from the ash can that we made years ago. It's barely changed. Like it's pretty true to how it was. So it's just a very classic, straightforward cover.
This was, obviously it's the cover, but it's the first thing that really sold us on the whole story. It's very impactful, and dare I say, very Fugitive Poems. The look of it, I think that was one of the things that really turned us on about this storyline was how it kind of fits right into our repertoire, and it's wait till you see some of these insides. It's amazing. So I can't believe that's that old, that you've been doing that since 16.
We met you gentlemen at Terrificon in Connecticut 2 years ago. I met Ryan, I should say. I didn't meet Steven.
Yeah, you met Ryan.
Had I met Steven, none of this would have happened. No, I'm kidding. And Ryan and I had a great conversation, and I brought the book to James, and he was just like, "Holy cow! It's absolutely beautiful art." So your creative origins are very much in comics. Do you have Ryan? Do you have any other influences in other art forms that sort of affect your art, like movies?
Yeah, so movies absolutely. But I'm a classically trained oil painter,
Okay.
so I do landscapes and portraits. So that's why sometimes my panels have a little bit more of a different feel than a lot of comics. It's just a little. It's just the way I kind of process. I think as a oil painter, my design of the panels and all that kind of stuff comes from there. So,
Well, actually,
I could always. I teach oil painting all the time. That's part of my day job. So, yeah. See, there you go. Color theory and all this kind of fun stuff. So I'm inking, penciling, and I'm coloring the whole issue myself. It's a big undertaking.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you prefer that though? Do you to have that kind of control?
I like to do all of it because it's just my baby. It comes down to like scheduling. That's the hard part because I have life, so it's just like it takes a long time to do everything. But I think it really shows in the work that it comes out the way I like it.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna show
a
couple of minutes. Mark, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. So we saw a little piece of it there. What's the tagline, guys? How do you describe this to people when they like, hey, I'm working on something, and they go, really? What? What do you answer?
I think Ryan has said it best a long time ago, but it's like The Departed meets Reanimator. Real sweet and simple, but I would write out a full lengthy thing, and Ryan's like, no, it's The Departed meets Reanimator. I'm like, okay, let's go with that.
Well, as much as I appreciate that, and that's actually an incredibly accurate and very good tagline, I'm also interested to hear your lengthier version. What would you say?
What would I say?
Redeparted.
I mean, it's about a good cop who's trying to take down the mob, and everything evil and supernatural is getting in his way. I don't know.
We should probably leave it at that. Honestly, you don't want to give too much away right up front, but
right.
Well, we've got one good cop in a corrupt force.
Yep.
And his definition of good is angled by how corrupt it is, right? How corrupt it is. Right?
All things being relative.
I mean, with any good, police department, there's always corruption and I think I liked watching or reading about Whitey Bulger, and so this is loosely based on some of his life and some of his corruption in Boston and the mobster life in Boston, and so some of the things that happened in Boston, real mobster stuff, I took a little bits, and I was inspired by this stuff, so
that's cool.
Did you read? I got Black Mass around here somewhere. Is that one of your sources?
I watched the movie, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the book around here somewhere. How, without giving everything away, how does the supernatural factor into this story? So what you're describing sounds like a cop drama, noir, right? And we know it's going to be, well, you don't know yet. I'm going to show some images. It's going to be violent as hell. But what made you, let me ask you that, what made you put the supernatural in there? Or was that always integral to what came to you?
It was just, I just felt like, okay, I love the noir crime thing, but I wanted something to be weird. Like I'm also like a Kirkman fan. I love The Walking Dead. But I didn't want it to be zombies. I wanted it to be something different but similar. So that was the choice of choosing something supernatural, the reanimation of life, and I'll just keep it at that.
Very good. But by the way, Mark, Kenneth Fontano.
Hey.
referring to your possible strip act here, his wife is also not okay with it. So I think you might.
Okay.
I think you might have to prove something later. Kenneth Fontano is drawing a story for me right now called Albino Satanists in Heat. And he has showed me a number of pages, and he is doing that title. I don't know how good the story is, but I'm damn proud of the title. And he is doing it glory. Wouldn't he? An artist. I'm going to show a couple of pages from. I want to show a little bit of process, Ryan. The three shots, the same thing. Pencil, ink, color, and James, if you want to jump in and you guys can discuss it while I show it, because I got to tell you, watching looking at these three pieces and watching them happen blew me away. So let's get that first up there. What stage is this? What's going on with this page?
Yeah, so this is it's like a pretty tight pencil. It looks like kind of small, but yeah. So I do all my. Well, to me, it looks small.
Oh.
So it's a pretty tight pencil. I do it in Procreate. So it's all digitally penciled, and then I take it out of there and I print it out in blue line, right? And then I'll ink it by hand, old-fashioned way. Yeah, and then I'll scan it back in, clean it up, and color it in Procreate again. Yeah. So it's a mix of old school and new school kind of process.
Okay, so then we go from there to this. Now we see it inked.
Yeah. So that's the inked pencil, penciled and then inked. It's a lot more. After it's printed out, I go through and I refine my drawing a little bit, make sure everything's where I need it to be, and so it makes the inking easier. And then full ink. Yeah.
Christian, before we unveil the color, this reminds me of Kill Bill, where it got so bloody that they had to go black and white.
Yes.
Because I kind of feel like that's that's where we're at right now. I know what's coming next.
James, how similar?
Hurt your eyes.
James, how similar is that to your process? Is this kind of how you go at it, or is it very different?
Well, I use a light board, which kind of sounds like Ryan does the blue printout, which a lot of people do. I've actually wanted to try that. I just never gotten around to it. I have a nice kind of like LED light board that I use, and I'll do my pencils, put them on the board, and then basically my inks are just sort of tracing over my pencils. It gives me that clean ending. I'm left-handed, so I tend to have a lot of fingerprints and stuff in my work. That tends to keep it a little bit neater for me if I'm not on top of pencil and stuff. But
I've seen people do it both ways. Print it out on regular paper first, and then trace over it on a light board. I usually don't do that because I work here, I work at my studio, I'm back and forth. So I don't always have access to a light board because I'm kind of all over the place. So it's easier for me to do it in blue line, and then I'm just ready to go anywhere. Yeah.
So this one we're looking at here, was that raw with the blue line in there, or was that after you've removed the blue line?
I couldn't really tell, but it might be in there. Yeah. So all I do is I can't really say it's. But what I do is I can go when I put it in Procreate, I can just kind of play with it and eliminate the blue line. It just disappears.
The blue line is in it.
Huh?
The blue line is in it. I'm looking at it.
Is in it? Yeah.
It's
so you
there.
can eliminate. It's there, yeah, because I can tell because it's the dimensions of the paper is the full size. When I put it back in, I size it to the board, like to the page, so it kind of zooms out, and then I eliminate the blue line, and then I just kind of make it a clear layer, and then I can color right on top of it or below it. Yeah. So you don't see the blue line.
Let's take a look at where this goes. That is an amazing panel.
Nice.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So the thought process again was like, this is the past. It's a bloody era. So all the colors have the influence of the red, you know? So everything is extra red. Like he's wearing a white suit, but it's red, you know? So his eyes are red. Like the whole thing is influenced by the red. Yeah.
Hey, Christian, we got a good question.
Yep.
There it is.
Ryan, how many pages are you able to produce a day?
Producing a day? Not many. Not many. Yeah. So yeah, really slow. But if I can get a full day in, I could do a page a day if I really have, if I have to, if I'm under the gun. But it's for me, it's just a matter of finding the time. I really don't have much time to work on it, so I work on it, you know, a couple hours at night. I have a couple of days where I could work 4 hours, which is a luxury. So it's just, it's really a battle, but it's coming. It's coming, and I think it's pretty good, and hopefully everyone will like it.
Christian, mind if I lob another one at them here?
Absolutely. While you're doing that, I'm going to show a couple other images.
Perfect. So I think what our audience really wants to know is what's the matter with you guys? Like, what was going through your heads when you concocted this violent masterpiece of yours?
I mean, this is life, man. I mean, you this is what happens when you get involved with the mob and cops and corruption, and it's just what happens. It's
This is what happens.
right? And Ryan, you know, Ryan, I just kind of picked up on this tonight, but like I'm all about whimsical. Like, so you'll get some funny lines from me that I write in the dialogue, but Ryan picked up on that, and his artwork is the same. Like it's all works together. It's very harmonious, and that's what I love about working with Ryan. It's pretty amazing. So
you guys definitely gel.
I love the motion of this page and Ryan's backgrounds.
Yeah,
are so thorough.
That's the landscape painter in me. You know,
yeah,
can't help myself by putting a lot of little nitpicky detail. You know, that's my downfall.
I feel like you went on the Tobin Bridge and you took some pictures. That's what it looks like.
Well, it's a stylized version of that. It's not picture perfect, but it has that same feel. Like what I drew is actually thinner and a little more rickety.
Yeah.
So it just everything feels uneasy, you know. So there's a lot of psychology going on in there.
Beware, audience. This next image is a bit graphic. It's a photo of me from. No, I'm kidding. That's one of my favorite shots. So, in the script, Stephen, what did you write in the script for this?
Wait, can you zoom in a little?
I don't know how to do that.
Oh, this is Babe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is Babe.
This is Babe, yeah. This is the end of the interrogation.
Listen, he's pissed off. He wants answers, and he pretty much doesn't care. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Kenneth Fontano, I absolutely love the motion and blasting of the weapon. Oh, that might have been for the gun, but I think that applies here too.
Well, yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Our dear friend, the great letterer Tom Lynott, and great writer. That's awesome. And no, that's the same one I put up. Aaron, Frog King Art, put up spectacular pages. Ryan. Brian wants to know something that's I think we haven't hit on yet. What is the collaboration like between the two of you?
It's pretty. I don't know. It's pretty simple and easy. We met. It was like, you want to work together? He's like, yeah, sure, let's do it, and we did. and we met several times. We went over the story. He tells me when I need to write less, and he's got it, but he gets me. That's the thing. Like, he gets me, and I think it's a good collaboration.
Yeah, I totally know what the story is and what you want to show. You don't have to like explain everything. So we talked about it, and we were able to whittle it down to a manageable amount of words.
James, would you like to jump in and talk a little bit about your journey with me in regard to that? How many words you had to deal with?
Yeah, well, it's an ongoing battle. So if he had his way, we would just have like a bunch of bubbles, and occasionally like someone would peek out from behind one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was actually funny on the learning curve of learning comics. I figured out that one of the things I was doing early on was I was putting stuff in 10, 11, 12 point font, because that's kind of a standard size for graphic design and so forth. And I actually figured it out. Christian's like, he's like, I see other people put these many words on the pages. He's like, why can't you fit them? And then I went and physically started just measuring with my dad's old point ruler and so forth, trying to figure out the actual sizes. And I figured out that they're actually putting really small size fonts in there, 6.5, 7, 8. So once I figured that out, then I was able to fit a lot more of Christian's banter.
Mine it just said 8, and he actually is great. He did lettering on thermoclines, and he's responsible for getting one of my wordiest pages ever to fit. And it's funny because I tried to do him a favor and cut a line. I was like, okay, I'll admit it. There's a line I can cut. And he's like, nah, it's one of my favorite lines. I'm like, I was trying to help you, man.
Yeah. But as I was measuring some of the comics, some of them are actually all the way down almost to like 6.5, which was really surprising. It's really hard to read at that size, especially if you got old eyes like us. That's why I'm constantly finding now when I read my comics, I got to pull out a magnifying glass to see some of the text.
Michael Gracia has joined us or has commented. Hi, Michael. Good to see you. Watched your show with JM last night and had a great time. Kenneth Fontano and Mark have an ongoing, I don't know what's happening here. I'm a little nervous about it, but the stripping conversation has not ended. This is going to be Fugitive Poems' first subscription comic on our website, where you'll be able to subscribe and get to read the comic on the Fugitive Poems website. Go to the Fugitive Poems website, fugitivepoems.com, to get all the latest news and release dates and all that kind of thing. I'll be sending out email blasts as well. If you're not subscribed to the Fugitive Poems website, please do so. Mark is the loudest keyboard in history.
Sorry.
I'm going to get you some WD-40 or spackle. But definitely go to the YouTube page. If you're here right now, click subscribe, click notifications, click the other things that people who know about YouTube tell you to click. All that stuff, you should do it.
Smash that like button.
That's what they say. Smash that like button. That's right. Like it said. No.
By the way, because I got one of these. That's why it's so noisy.
Yeah, it's a keyboard.
No, it's not a gaming keyboard. I'm not that cool. It's the old-fashioned tick 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 typewriter.
Yeah, you got a typewriter. Good job. Well
I'm
moving forward with technology.
Yeah, we need to move step forward, two back.
Yeah, Stephen, would you take care of that? Stephen, I like all the stuff you have randomly on your desk. I have 3 kids, so all the stuff on my desk is crap I've been asked to fix probably months ago. Gentlemen, this was a perfect inaugural episode of this show. I am so excited to have had you guys on and been able to hear about this. You guys, phenomenal. You're terrific guests. Would love to have you back on anytime, as they say.
Oh, thanks.
But guys, more than anything, we are proud to be presenting Dirty Living. And it's an incredible benefit when you're proud to be doing something and are proud to be working on a project, and the people working on it are awesome people. So you guys have been phenomenal.
Thanks for the faith.
Maybe
Thanks
at the
for the
beginning.
I don't care how many bodies you have in your basement right now. You guys are both great folks. No, but working with you has been tremendous. Steven put up with me as editor. I mean, there's an extra space in heaven for people who can put up with me as an editor, and it really rose to my commentary and came up with better stuff than I could have thought of, and really did a great job. And Ryan, your art is, it's just blowing the damned roof off. Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Our theme song, which you didn't hear yet, but you will if you watch this recorded, is done by C Notes, and we'll have all C Notes information in the credits. I thank you, C Notes, for putting this together, and it really is awesome. And this is the Art Will Not Be Changing, the clickety clack typewriter keyboard show. No, that's not what it's called. I feel like it's a night I'm giving dictation. Honey, did you get that? All right, sweetheart.
Lewis routine.
Folks, this has been The Art Will Not Be Changing, the Fugitive Poems Show. I am Christian DeMatteo. My co-hosts are Jam Lines. I'm reading your thing, James Lines, and Mark Capitelli. Our guests have been Ryan Santos and Stephen Besha of Dirty Living. Tune back in for another great episode. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, for being a part of this. And thank you, Martine, for having Adeline, my little niece, watch. We love you all. We are Fugitive Poems, and we make comics.